Hi, everyone, and welcome to Ethereum Cat Herders meeting number 41. I am Hudson. The agenda starts with agenda item number 1, EIP 1559 fee market changes update. I think that's going to be Pooja.
Yeah, I can provide an update on that. There was a meeting on August 28th for the implementers of 1559, and the highlights of the meeting are Vulcanize and Besu team are working on the implementation of 1559, and they are aligned with the latest spec. Vulcanize is taking care for the GET team, and they are being funded by the community fund that has been received by the Gitcoin grant. These teams are running a testnet with 3 GET and 3 Besu nodes. Nethermind is also planning to join the testnet, connecting with the Besu and GET testnet for EIP 1559 in next 2 to 3 weeks. Based on suggestions and discussion, some of the action items for future for the teams are change the spec and implementation to have a minimum increment or decrement of 1. There are some documentation that is required for the issues that are being identified. So Vulcanized team would be taking care of that. Research and communication has to happen, and people think that that can be funded as well. So on that, there was quite a lot of discussion in the group, like even the cat herders can be quite supportive in doing some communication part, taking care of some communication part, reaching out to the stakeholders here in the sense of wallet, pools, and exchanges. I would like to hear more thought on that, what people think, how we can help. But in the meanwhile, I and Tim were discussing, and we are trying to come up with a questionnaire kind of thing that we can collect answers from community, and that we would provide the 1559 implementers team, and hopefully that would be helpful. There is a roadmap that James, I and Tim are working on, and that will be shared soon in terms of when and what we are seeing that may happen, so that community get an expectation set for whatever they have funded, because there was some question raised in Twitter in last week. A detailed note for 1559 is available on Ethereum/PM GitHub. I'm also sharing the link here. So yeah, that's from the highlight side. If anybody has any question.
Great update. Does anyone have any comments? Where do people go for the latest on this? That's in the ETH R&D research Discord, right?
Yeah, there is a 1559 channel itself in the ETH R&D Discord. People can participate in active communication there.
Awesome. Okay. Next up, we have item number 2, break off discussion groups proposal by Alita. Alita, if you want to take that one.
Yeah, sure. So that idea basically just comes from the fact that there have been consistent times in meetings where people are talking about something, but due to time, they're stopped early. And so I think that kind of hinders, discussion in the Ethereum community in these groups. And so I wanted to facilitate a break-off group where if that sort of thing happens, where people want to continue talking about it, the Ethereum cat herders will do a minimal amount of organization to, like, after that meeting, create a new meeting for that discussion to continue, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that idea. I know James has already done that. I don't know if you've seen, he's done that before, different very niche areas of a core developer meeting. And you're talking about core developer meetings this happening, right? Or other meetings too?
So I was thinking all meetings, but yeah, I mean, for the all core devs, like that could be the focus. But I'm mainly talking about, like, if there's a discussion ever where people want to continue, like the Ethereum cat herders will facilitate that discussion, because we do have multiple groups.
Yeah, That's a good idea. And that actually would work really well for the core developer calls would be a good guinea pig for that because they would be, we just moved from the single getter channel for the core developer call chat room to the ETH R&D Discord. And there's an all core devs channel in there, but there's also a category in the Discord called ETH 1.0, and you can add channels under there. And there's only the EIP's channel right now, but let's say someone wanted to talk about the BLS signature stuff in EIP 384 or the 384 initiative that Alex Bergzazi is doing.
EVM 384.
EMVM 384, thank you. Yes, EVM 384. Then there can be a whole channel discussion for that, and the cat herders could corral people to move into that channel. Do I understand that correctly?
So that is a good idea, although that seems a lot like kind of creating a new group. I'm thinking more of a a low, a low requirement sort of just continue a discussion. So, because normally the cat herders, during a group meeting, we take notes, we facilitate, we set an agenda. But in this case, it would just basically be like, a single channel in the all core devs where you can go, and then you have like a moderator who just basically, makes it clear on what the goal is, and then you're there for like 30 minutes to an hour. Just discuss that one single topic, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I like that idea. And if you want to go ahead with that.
Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead, William. That was all I got to say.
It might even look like a voice channel. I'm assuming from the way Alita's describing it, like maybe have like a voice channel there that can sort of perpetually be used for like any particular breakout room. Does that sound probably like what we need for that?
Yep, that's exactly what I'm talking about. Yeah, or although I guess because like in the Discord, that would make a lot of sense. And then in general, you could also just have, I think the ideal situation would be that it's not very like particular in the sense that, the whole point is that it's very easy. So like it would take like 5 minutes to set up. So for a Discord for the all core devs, yes, like a channel, that would be perfect. And then for other ones that might not have a Discord yet, like for example, EIPIP, then maybe you just quickly set up like a Google Meets or a Zoom, and then people can just join for 15 minutes or an hour or whatever it ends up being.
Interesting. Just a logistic question. If it's something like core devs, so let's say there's something that needs a breakout room discussion. Most people who would be involved in the discussion probably do want to catch the rest of the call too then. So then how do you work the coordination for when the breakout room would happen?
Oh, so that would also, like, that's kind of, I guess, the fundamental idea of this. And that's that, like, if you want to do a breakout room, like, if you're like, okay, let's continue this discussion during the, like, main discussion, then you could just sort of make a note of that. And then, it really would just be like, okay, well, why don't we just do this like Friday or Saturday? Basically very, not very like exact about when it happens. So flexibility is key, I think.
Do you think it should be scheduled in call then? Like, we'll make a breakout room at whenever?
I think that's definitely an option. I think it also really will depend on the circumstances. But I would imagine yes. Or it could even just be, you're in a call and you're like, okay, hey, after this call, I'll be in the breakout room because I'll, say for example, I'm the moderator. So just join afterwards and we'll continue this discussion. Or we could break out now. So it's really just, I'm sure that there are some specific details that can be finalized as we go along, but I think having a very loose definition would be ideal for now.
Yeah, I do hear that. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, really cool.
Great. Any other comments on this? Okay.
It might involve, if we're going to step into this like moderators or facilitators for that, it might involve actually getting like a recognized cat herders group on the ETH R&D channel. Do you know how we'd go about that?
I can do that after talking to the other moderators. So Would the channel be just called Cat Herders and then we would just shuffle everyone in there when we need them, kind of a thing?
Yeah, sure. That sounds reasonable.
Oh,
Or maybe
okay.
even just calling it a voice channel. Like, what do you think about just having a voice channel called Breakout Room, but then in the permissions for the voice channel, perhaps members of the Cat Herder group would have some kind of moderator ability?
Yeah, I like that idea better because calling a channel Cat Herders would be a little confusing as to the purpose of the channel, but calling something Breakout Room and having it have a voice chat with it sounds like a little easier to think about whenever you look at it.
I'll echo that.
How's that sound, Alita?
That sounds great.
Okay, I can, let me put on my list to make that today. So this would be, it's calling it Breakout, right? Make Breakout. Voice and chat channel, ETH-R&D Discord. I will post in the Cat Herders Discord whenever this is done. I need to get used to us having one of those because I keep forgetting we have one. That's my bad. Yeah, but great stuff us having a Discord. Anybody else have comments on this?
Yeah, I like the idea, and I will agree to it. I mean, making it generalized instead of cat herders will add more value to it.
Great. All right. ECH Discord channel number 3, a deadline for migration from Gitter to Discord, and then channels and roles. I think Pooja is the one who created that server. If you want to take this one, Pooja.
Yeah, about that, we have been like trying to communicate both on, not both, actually on multiple, Discord, Telegram, and Gitter. So I was wondering like we should set up a deadline for that. Like we would not be like, we would be considering only Discord for the communication in future. There was some discussion in previous and I think 1 or 2 meetings back about the channels and roles. So I just wanted to hear others' thought. What do you think? Like if we should be like targeting like 15th of September maybe or 10th of September? Any thoughts on that?
So is this for the bridge? If it's for the bridge, didn't we agree to not do that like 2 meetings ago, or was I just like not listening?
Okay.
The bridge was nixed, but there was still like we weren't just going to make a hard break right away. So I think, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, Pooja, but I think Pooja just means like when should we cut
Right.
off the Gitter and the Telegram?
Right. As of now, we do not have any kind of bridge anywhere. It's just that Telegram and Gitter are somehow connected with one bridge, but none is connected to the Discord that we have for cat herders. So there are few things. Number one, coming up for the general migration from Gitter to Discord. Like as of today, we have been communicating in Gitter, Telegram, and Discord, all three, and I have to go and post it there because there is no bridge. So number one that I'm asking for is like deadline, set a deadline for the communication to happen only on Discord. Number two that I was thinking, and that was also discussed in the previous meeting about ProgPaw, that is a Gitter channel for cat herders, and we do not have any bridge. So if we still consider not to have a bridge, do we need to continue discussion in the Gitter only, or how we are planning to take ahead with this ProgPaw community?
And one thing I definitely would say is that I think, I mean, I thought about doing this and then sort of forgot about it, but I think we probably have to be a little bit more obnoxious, if anybody will forgive me for saying that, on the Gitter about moving over to the Discord. Like, I don't feel like we, and I'm including myself in this, have really pushed conversation from Gitter onto the Discord. There's like this sort of vague idea that there is a Discord, but it's like not like, you know, anybody's saying like, nah, I can't hear you, you're not on the Discord. Not that I'm saying anybody should actually say that on Gitter. But at least that the conversation should be strongly encouraged more often to be moved towards Discord, I think would make a big difference. Has anyone even written on the ProgPow in the ProgPow Gitter channel that we'd like to move the conversation to Discord at this point? Like, is that channel, which is oftentimes populated by like non-cat herders, are they even aware that there's a Discord that we're migrating to?
I think, I mean, I'm not sure if anybody has already mentioned about it, but I see Christy, she is like one of the key member of ProgPaw channel. She actually joined our Discord. So my understanding is awareness is there, but I believe that proper communication would be helpful.
I think that we should be careful to not, so there's a couple things. The ProgPow channel is the outlier, and I don't think I think the people who like to write deep like protocol and minor level, like code for miners and stuff like that, I don't know if they're on Discord. A lot of the people who are active in there, I think Greg's actually on Discord, but other than him, I didn't know, and Christy, I don't know about the others who really frequent that channel like Greer. So maybe having a bridge for like 3 months would be okay while the conversation dies down, because starting this core dev meeting, there should be a resolution on if there's going to be a testnet developed for ProgPow. And when that happens, and yeah, that should help things with calming down the ProgPow channel if there is any activity at all.
Right. That would like spark to active conversation when this testnet things will start working. So yeah, I think having a bridge would be a good idea for some time.
It's not that hard to do either. I can definitely do that in this week or next. Actually, no, this week. What is it, Tuesday? Yeah, I can do it this week.
That would be great.
So just for clarification, we're talking about only bridging ProgPow to ProgPow, right?
Yes, ProgPow to ProgPow. Everything else we need to push everybody to Discord by just like every couple of days posting in Telegram and Gitter and just saying, hey, we're not here anymore.
Does that include the EIP, IP meetings and stuff like that?
Does EIP IP have a Gitter or Telegram channel?
Yeah, that's basically my question.
Oh, you know what? For now, let's keep EIP IP on Telegram, I think, because I don't know. We should approach that next meeting. I need to think about that.
Okay,
I forgot.
Right. We already have created a channel, but that hasn't been made public yet. So I think we should think about it a little bit more. And if we consider keeping it on Telegram separately, it's fine. And if we want to move it here, maybe consider bridging it or asking people there. So yeah, sounds good.
I ran through the ProgPow Gitter right now. It doesn't look like anybody's ever said anything about the Discord there, but I could have missed it. It's not like I was actually reading through everything. So, I mean, definitely I'd say the conversation should at least be started over there also to inform them about the Discord, about the move, to emphasize that we are creating a bridge, but that we would prefer as much as possible that people move over to the Discord and that the bridge will be terminated at some point.
Great call. Let's do it.
I can do that. Like, I mean, I get her open right now. I can do it right now, theoretically.
Don't announce it till I have the bridge up, so
okay,
people know what like can go there and then be there.
Okay.
And yeah, that is all I had for that one. Does anyone else have anything?
One last thing, I just wanted to quickly check with people here. On topic of roles and channels, are they fine with whatever they can see right now? I think most of the people have been upgraded to members, but I think 1 or 2 are there as contributor. But there were some issues identified in the previous meeting that even if people are having a contributor access, they are not able to see the history of the meeting. Is it resolved, or where are we on that?
So explain the last part again. The history of what again?
I think Edson, you had mentioned it. So would you be able to communicate more on that? I guess you were facing some challenges reading the history of the discussion here.
Yeah, there's a permission where it's on Discord. You can type in a channel, but you can't see any past messages, including your own after a while.
Is that true even on the permission set that Pucha named members?
No, it's only for contributors.
Okay, so I mean, I'm looking at the Discord right now. It looks like, I don't know about Alita, but I can see that everybody else is actually a member now, which means Brent, yourself, Hudson, Pucha, and myself. So that, I mean, it should be sort of rounded backly solved, I suppose.
Yeah. We need to figure out a way to figure out what makes someone a member. Do we have that? Is that a thing we have?
I don't think we do, but I'm debating also how much we want to write that, like, etch that in stone. Because, I mean, there are a lot of members who there's a lot of different ways that people contribute, I feel.
Yeah, that's true.
So in beginning, when I actually had this idea, my thought were like people who we should be considering in member, like they should either have the herd token that were initiated, that were distributed in the beginning of this group, or they have contribution for over a year. So if they are satisfying either of these criteria, they can be a part of member, and rest of the people who are contributing in some or the other aspect can be contributor till their contribution is either very large or maybe over the year. But I'm willing to change it or adjust it based on groups.
Right. I mean, the question is also how, I mean, I think right now, Pooja, I think you're the only one who can set permissions for members. And potentially, I'll put it this way, the more rigorous the rule, probably the more work you're making for yourself. I made the point before with the meeting notes channel. Like if you're putting in a requirement for a year, but then you want someone to be involved in taking notes, so then they won't be able to join the channel. So then maybe you'd create another tier for note takers, but then you have another tier with another set of permissions. And if you're managing all of it, I suspect it will become tedious very quickly. So I mean, either it's going to need a lot of different sets of rules, or it's probably just going to have to stay at generalization, in my point of view. But I am completely open to other ideas, and I'm saying that more as an observation as opposed to an opinion.
I think that people having titles make them feel cool. I like it when I have titles. So I don't know we should have a high barrier of entry for people to become a member of the cat herders rather than just a contributor. But we do need to kind of figure out a definition, but not make it too complicated. That's kind of where I'm at on that. I don't have much else in as ways like concrete. It should be one way or another. I do think a year might be a little long because we've only been around a year and 5 months.
Year and 9 months.
Oh my gosh, it's September. This
Yeah.
year has taken forever. Okay, anyways. Yeah, a year and 9 months. But yeah, a year feels long to me, but it might not be. I guess that we should maybe have a whole nother discussion topic next meeting or in Discord about this within a member chat.
Yeah, let's take this to Discord. That sounds like a good idea.
Sounds good to me.
Cool. Everything else I think on this topic is good. Does anyone else have comments before I move on? Okay, the emergency communication group. That is the last I looked at that, there was like a few pending comments that Jay just sent in, and for people to look over. Other than that, is there any other updates on that? Anybody?
I think that's really the last hurdle until we've sort of finalized the 2 documents. And after that, I think it's really about, I mean, you and I have talked about this, Hudson. After that, it's really just about starting to go around and actually like assembling support in ETH1 and ETH2.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. So I'll look at that this week personally.
Yeah,
but I'm not the only one who
think-
needs to look at it, obviously.
Yeah, I think Jay also, I think a lot of it was about cleaning up other comments, like a ton of my comments. So I think it was just pretty much also more or less finalizing. I don't know if she's totally finalized on it. But I would say like in terms of our action items for that, it would be making sure that Jay's finalized with her document and then probably just like assembling the next steps.
Perfect.
I
Great.
think I added a few more comments yesterday on the document, so I might want to give it a last look on that.
I'm pretty sure she only resolved comments.
Okay, sounds good. Anything else on that? Next up, number 5, we have Peep and Eep. Pooja, how's that going? It looks like it's been getting some popularity. I think it's going well. What do you think?
Yeah, I think the community is receiving it as like a good source of information for Ethereum improvement proposals. Like earlier, there was this question, like whenever people want to learn about anything, they have to either deep dive inside the GitHub repo to find out that proposal or go to eips.ethereum.org. And it was very difficult to find it in Google. But by using the channel of YouTube, whenever we are posting a video of any of the proposals that we had discussion with this author, it is very easy to find. That's one of the advantages that I'm seeing with this going by the YouTube. The other thing is the presenters, the authors have been really nice to share it in a very easy to understand way, added with the questions by William, James, and Greg, and other people who are trying to add more value by understanding those proposals, by putting simple questions that we are collecting from community is helping us a lot. So far, we have recorded 4 episodes. There is a link in the agenda which takes us to a project board, which is basically a tracker for what EIP we are discussing and the link of whatever we have already recorded. So I think it's going pretty good. Today we have a meeting with Alex Vlasov on the topic of EIP 2666. So if anybody is interested, please join us at 2:30 p.m. EST. And if there is any suggestion what all EIPs we should be considering inviting author to the show, feel free to share it with us.
Okay, great. What's next? We have Ethereum Important Installation Survey Report. Is that Edson?
Again, that is with me.
Oh, that's you. Sorry.
No, it is. So yeah, the survey result is published and it's at Medium blog at Ethereum Cat Herders. This blog also includes the timeline and key highlights of the discussion that was inside and outside of the All Core Dev meeting. Based on the limited responses that we have received, the client diversity ratio is not far off from the data that is out there on Ethernodes. I'm going to share the link of the Medium blog so people can actually look into the graphs and chart that is shown there. We see an overlap of percentage because this is not the actual node that is available on the network, but that is the participating institutions who volunteered to answer our survey question. So major respondents of the survey were like mining pool, exchanges, wallet dApps, and infrastructure provided. This report does not include like individuals answer, an individual or hobbyist answer. And talking about the next step, I think the cat herders can be working with the operators running parity nodes. I mean, we see that there are still operators who are running parity nodes. So we can be talking to those operators and help them migrate to Open Ethereum or any other client of their choice. Now that we have the database of who all are running those, older nodes that are not supported anymore, we can reach out to them. And I was informed of that Open Ethereum is coming up with a very stable release next month. Sorry, now this is September. So yeah, this month possibly. So I think that could be a good start when we can start making reach to these node operators.
Any other comments? That all sounds good to me. Okay, next up, Cat Herders funding Moloch DAO and ESP. I don't have anything on that one.
Yeah, not too much to add here, but we reached out to Moloch, I think in the month of May or June, and I think by June end we received the funding. And we were supposed to report back to Moloch after 3 months. Now that this is September, it's almost the end of the like 3 months, going to be by the end of the September. So I was thinking of, kind of sharing some report with them. And also I wanted to check on, like, I understand that when we requested fund, that was low value of ETH. So we may have some buffer funding, but now that it is about to end of the 3 months, should we go ahead and reapply with this detailed report, whatever we have done in the past 3 months? How does that sound?
It would cost us hundreds of dollars to submit a request to Moloch right now with the current gas prices.
Oh, no, not now. I mean, like, I'm just saying that we can think about it, or whenever we find
Oh,
it.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. I know you didn't meant this second, but it still is funny to me to think of anybody doing anything on the network right now. Yeah, let's think about that. Going ahead with Moloch again, I think we should do the report first and get feedback before we make a decision for sure.
Right. I'm planning to publish, share it among the group like by 15th, because by 30th September, that would be the end of the 3 months. So I just want to be on time with them, so that, somebody also reached out to me to ask how we are doing, but I'm not sure that was a formal ask. So I'm willing to come up with a report.
Okay, that sounds good. Anybody else have anything on that?
Just asking, do you have any thoughts on going back to ESP, or should we consider Moloch only?
I don't have thoughts yet.
That's fine with me, no problem.
Next up, we have closing out issues in the PM and funding repo. In the PM repo, I can go through the issues from top to bottom. So other than the agenda, we have converting SAI to DAI USDC. We do have one more transaction in the old multi-sig to move Ether from it, and it just isn't working. I'm going to try to talk to someone from Gnosis about that, but otherwise all the USDC has been, or basically the money from Moloch and the SAI has been converted from DAI to USDC, and the Moloch DAO money has been converted to, besides that one transaction on the old multi-sig that's keeping this issue open. So it can stay open for now. Update Forkmon and properly, and publish code properly. I don't have anything on that, and James isn't here, so we can skip that one.
On that, I talked to Martin, and he said that he would be looking into it. I know it's been a while when he mentioned that, but I guess until it is closer to upgrade, he may not be able to get into it. But yes, that is into his attention.
Great. All right, add an option to Ether nodes that accounts for in process. Okay, this one's going to happen when Berlin happens, apparently, according to James, so this will stay open. Add an option to Ether nodes that accounts for, I just did that one. Update necessary documentation for the Besu hotfix. That one was opened by James, and it says something should be updated in the yellow paper somewhere. We've talked about including the yellow paper as one of the responsibilities of like James is to like, not his responsibility, but like within this repo that we're starting for protocol specifications for ETH 1.0. And so I think that he might be looking at that one, but we don't have anything for updates on this issue right now. And then staking in DXDAO, I opened this back up with Lane and with Edson. And I think that we're waiting for gas fees to go down, and then we're going to get the money out, I think. If I recall correctly. But I'll look back at the Telegram chat and get an update on that and put it in here. And that's all the issues for the PM repo. We're behind on funding because gas prices are really high. But if someone wants to initiate the transactions and the, basically it doesn't cost anything to create the transaction in, well, actually, I don't know if does it cost anything in Gnosis Safe to create a transaction before another multi-sig holder approves of it?
So far, I have only been approving, so I have no idea.
Okay, if someone wants to try that and just create one and see if it costs anything, if it does, wait till the gas price goes down, because otherwise it'll be like $30 for a $50 bounty kind of a thing. Yeah, we'll reapproach this next week, because if it turns out that the gas prices don't go down, we'll have to figure something out. But for right now, it's just a waiting game.
Maybe
Potential.
What was that,
Go
Pooja?
ahead, Pooja.
Oh no, maybe I was just, it's just my suggestion, like maybe we could, kind of buffer that amount as well, if this stands for a very long time,
Mm-hmm. Make it so that we do like one transaction with 300 ETH or 300 DAI for someone who's done a lot of note taking. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, two things here. One is like instead of giving single, we would want to pool them together, 3 or 4 people. Just for example, we can see that for Edson, they have he has done it for EIP, IP, ECH. We can bunch them together and give one. That is one thing I was mentioning. Another thing I was saying that like because it requires 2 to 3 approver every time, it is like $2 to $5 per approver. Maybe kind of creating a pool. I don't know. That was just
Yeah, that sounds fine. Go ahead, Willem.
If I could maybe just slide one thing in there, a potential solution might also be if note takers want to bear some of the burden of the gas. Don't throw things at me. As in, like, let's say that the gas is going to be $6 to send a transaction or something like that. I don't think it's quite that high for a straight ETH transfer, but I could be wrong. Maybe proposing some kind of split. Like, I mean, I myself, first of all, I generally prefer to be paid in ETH. And I wouldn't necessarily be against subtracting the gas from what I'm getting personally. I don't want to force that on anybody else, though, if anybody else doesn't necessarily want to bear the burden of the gas costs for them being paid for notes.
Yeah, I feel the same. I would like the same. I would like to get Ether and wouldn't mind paying for the cost.
I'm not sure. I think that is going to be a little difficult in the sense because when we initiate the transaction, say for example, whatever we come up with like 100 DAI values in it, we mentioned that, and it is approved by a different approver at different time, and every approver has to pay some gas fee. So I'm not sure how we can handle like you subtracting your gas fee.
Yeah, it's a 2 of 5 multi-sig right now.
Oh, and so you're saying that process itself also incurs gas on each approval?
Yeah, so basically I might make all of the initial transactions today to say, hey, can someone approve this? And then at a different time, well, maybe days after I did the initial transaction, a second one is going to have to push through.
Got it.
Yep. But so we'll just see if gas prices goes down. I think it was back to 160 or 60 a few days ago until Sushi came around.
160 Gwei?
Yeah.
That's really high.
No, it's 600 right now though, so I'm kind of thinking 160 might be the new standard.
Oh my god.
Yeah, new normals.
I was at like 40 Gwei average, and that was kind of high compared to other people were saying.
Yeah, right now
A month
the
ago.
ETH gas station standard is 469.
Yeah, that's incredibly high.
Yeah, it's 600. It was 600 earlier this morning. It was insane.
Welcome to the new vegetable-based Ethereum.
Oh yeah, the vegetable-based future we all dreamed of. This is why I signed up for Ethereum, vegetables.
I'm excited for ETH 2 because isn't ETH 2 supposed to sort of solve these issues with the
Not for a few years.
Not for a few years, but yeah, it is supposed to solve some of these issues.
L2 should happen sooner.
Yeah, layer 2 technologies like OMG and DXDAI chain or whatever and ZK sync are going to have. That'll be fun. So yeah, let's not do any of the funding ones this time. And if that's the case, then we're on to the next part, which is the outstanding action items from the previous meeting number 40. So actions required, that would be upgrade Edson Alion to member in Discord, action item 40.1. Did that happen?
That's done.
Discuss hackathon in the next meeting. I don't think we did, but no, we did because you talked about the 1559 hackathon at the beginning, didn't you?
Yeah, that is on the roadmap, but if I get it correctly, this was particularly about if cat herders are planning to have any kind of hackathon. That was discussed few calls back, but I did not hear much from anybody.
that was brought up by me as a potential avenue of spending the money, the funding, but I think the funding might be better spent on funding ECH members directly.
Cool. We can drop the hackathon thing then. 40.3 was discuss ProgPow Getter next meeting. We did that. 40.4 was put break off groups discussion proposal on next meeting agenda, which we did and we talked about. So all the actions have been accomplished on the action items.
There is one thing I would like to bring it again. It was discussed in the previous meeting. I mentioned that recently I received access of one of our Google email, a Gmail that we had in early days. Going by the emails, I get to know that the Zoom cloud is like full. So we were considering deleting older meeting notes. Just wanted to make sure if nobody has any objection in that.
These are those Zoom recordings that happen in the cloud in the zoom.us interface. This isn't YouTube, right?
Right. So what we do, we download those meetings and upload it on YouTube.
Okay. I'm okay with deleting them, just free up space for sure,
Right.
especially the much older ones.
Yes. I mean, I may have to go back and look because there was a period in which we could not upload some of the meetings. So I'll just validate it. If it is uploaded, then I can go back and delete.
Okay. And if you need help with the interface, Zoom's interface is crappy and I've gotten better at it. So just let me know. Yeah. And, oh, that was the last item, wasn't it? I think it is. Does anyone have anything else before we go? This has been Hudson running on an hour and a half of sleep running a meeting. Thanks, everybody.
Oh my. You're doing great for an hour and a half. I would not have guessed.
Yeah. The next meeting is going to be September 15th, and we'll talk to you all then. Bye.
Thanks.
Bye.
Thank you, Edson. Bye, everyone.
Bye.